Hello, YouTube family. Auntie is here. I'm Patty Jackson. I'm your auntie of pop culture. It's not cute not knowing. Now it's going to be time to know. We start off with a hug. And we do it because you never know who's going to need a hug. So come on. I appreciate the many comments that came in about Al DeBarge. And many of you were so right. A person has to want to get help. Yeah, we can pray and band together, but a person has to want to get help from their addiction. So I appreciate so many of the comments. We got so much stuff to talk about today, and we're going to talk about the Golden Globe Awards last night. Me, myself, I can't believe how much I enjoyed it. I haven't enjoyed an award show since maybe the NAACP. Is it the NAACP Image Awards or the BET Awards? One of those. I just don't be getting into them as much as I used to watch the whole thing. And I watched the whole thing last night. How are the ratings? The ratings were not great, and I've explained this with these TV shows. People watch differently. They're waiting for the YouTube clip, the clip on social media, because there were many highlights last night. And if you base it on, say in 2004, there were 26 million people that tuned in. Well, you fast forward to 2023, it was down to 6 million. But the social media impressions and YouTube was way higher. It was an interesting night. So, I want to know what you thought about Gerard Carmichael. A lot of people was like, who is he? He's an actor, comedian. He's 35. He recently came out as gay. He had the show, The Carmichael Show on NBC. He made you think. His opening was not much of a monologue, but it was a talk because he was kind of explaining why the Golden Globes had to be put on hiatus. They had to sit them down and, they had to get it together because they had no minorities, not one, on that Hollywood foreign press. So they had to do some retooling, and now they're black. He basically said, I'm here because I'm black. And I forgot how much he said he was getting paid, but I said, they paying him $500,000. So I'm sure, they paid him a lot of money. The evening started off, wait a minute, I got to go back to Gerard Carmichael. He did make two kind of jokes that were like, one about Whitney Houston that people did not like. People don't like Whitney Houston jokes. And then he did one about Will Smith. I didn't like where he questioned Will Smith's masculinity. I didn't, it was kind of like, now, I'm from the super sensitive about Will Smith jokes and want to get back to this later in the commentary. But there were two jokes. When he told that joke, the audience fell silent. You heard nothing. There was just silence. And then he talked about some things that I'm sure made a lot of people uncomfortable. Because a lot of people were sitting there looking at his talk. I don't want to call them jokes, his talk. They were looking. A lot of people were getting checked, and I'm sure they didn't like that. So he was an interesting choice. Angela Bassett, 29 years ago, she won for What's Love Got to Do with It, playing Tina Turner. She won again for Queen Ramonda, Black Panther, and she made history because it was the first time a Marvel character won at a major awards ceremony, and she's been nominated all over the place. She looked magnificent, and I loved as her husband was taping her on his phone. It was really special. It was a huge night for Abbott Elementary, which has just been renewed for a third season, y'all. Third season, Abbott Elementary. The show won Best Comedy. Quinta Brunson as the creator and star, she won, and Tyler James Williams won. And what was so great about him winning for his role as Eddie Gregory, remember Everybody Hates Chris? I thought it was such a great show, but it never got its due. Everything else would win, but Everybody Hates Chris. And that's when Tyler Perry stuff kept winning like over and over again. And that show never got its due. I never remember. I interviewed Chris Rock, And I said, before we do the interview, I just want to let you know that Everybody Hates Chris is a great show and it's underrated. And he just like bust out laughing because Everybody Hates Chris was good. And he was a star. It is so good to see this young man win and really get into his stride. Even Eddie Murphy stood up when he went up there to accept his award. So that was a great moment. Actor Austin Butler, who played Elvis Presley. Does he really sound like Elvis when he talks? I was like, he's still in character. Remember Angela Bassett did it for years when she played Tina Turner. Well, Austin Butler won for playing Elvis Presley, thanking the Presley family, and giving a special shout out to Denzel Washington, who has been very instrumental in being like a mentor to this young man because they worked on a project many years ago, and Denzel said he saw something in that young man. Kate Blanchett won big. She wasn't there. Zendaya won big. She wasn't there. Michelle Yeoh, Everything All at Once, winning. She will probably win an Academy Award. She said, I stand on the shoulders of those who look like me. To see her and the man who played her co-star, y'all know I'll be messing up names, so the actor Ken, he was in Indiana Jones' first movie. I was like, was him. But Everything All at Once, the guy, what's it called, The Beast, the food show, the food set in Chicago, he won. But there were a lot of first that won last night, and I think that stood out. Some people said that the Golden Globes was too woke. Can we break down what woke really means? When you hear a person say, oh, it's too woke, that means it's either too black, too gay, too womanish, too minority filmed. So some people did not like that. But the big highlight of the night was Eddie Murphy. Y'all know I love Eddie Murphy. He got the Cecil B. DeMille Award for his lifetime achievement. 41 years in movies, 46 years in the entertainment industry, and he recently revealed that he is willing to come back and host an episode of Saturday Night Live. I hope they make that happen. I think the highlight of his speech, and he caught everybody off guard, because Eddie he's so reserved, but at the end of the day, if y'all don't remember that man is a straight up comedian, he said he had advice for the younger people. And he said, pay your taxes, mind your business, and keep Will Smith's wife name out your mouth. That moment, it was funny. And I hate Will Smith jokes. It was it was the moment you were not expecting. Now backstage, they asked Eddie Murphy about it, and he said, I haven't talked to either Chris or Will since that incident. I know them and I love them both. I think when people got bent out, he's a comedian. End of the day, he's a comedian. He's a comedian. And it was funny. But nobody was expecting it. Eddie Murphy and his latest woman that he's been with for many, many years, his fiance. She's 43, he's 61. They say they're going to get married sometime this year because they've been engaged for 5 years. I don't trust them long engagement. She is the mother of 2 of his youngest children. The ring is $1 million ring. Will Eddie Murphy be getting married this year? I don't know. It's something about long engagements. I just don't trust long engagement. They probably will. They were teasing him because he has 10 kids and she has his last 2, son and daughter. It was interesting, but they say that Eddie Murphy is getting married this year. Other big awards, Screen Actors Guild. Those nominations came down, and everybody who either won or was nominated last night has been nominated for the Screen Actors Guild, which is going to air on Netflix. They have a YouTube channel. It's going to air February 26th. Academy Awards are March the 12th, and the nominations are coming down January 24th. Most of the people who won last night will most likely either win or be nominated for an Academy Award. So that's going to be interesting. Big congratulations to tennis sensation Naomi Osaka. She is pregnant. There'll be no more tennis matches in 2023. Sunny Hostin of The View may be looking a little different. The 54-year-old lawyer turned talk show host recently underwent breast reduction and liposuction. She said she was at the age where her breasts kept getting bigger. She wanted to, make a little changes, and she did. She talks about it in the latest issue of People Magazine. People Magazine also has a great profile on Al Roker and his health battle and his battling back. It's a wonderful, wonderful piece on Al Roker. Yesterday, I was talking about Adam Rich. This story with this former child star is getting bigger and bigger. Found dead at the age of 54. I was talking about he was a recluse, never married, no kids. He was a big star in the 70s on the show 8 is Enough, where he played Nicholas Bradford. He has battled addiction. He had run-ins with the law. They said he had been sober. Now they're saying there was white powder found near his body, and it could have been a drug overdose. I got some good news. Wendy Williams, that podcast is coming. It's coming. The podcast is coming. I've seen the artwork. Now, I don't know if it's going to be one of those things where they film her and they show her. Will it just be audio? But where it's coming. So this Wendy Williams podcast is coming. Great news. Sherry Shepherd, her show renewed for season number 2. Jennifer Hudson, her show renewed for season number 2. If you're a fan of the CW show All American, it's been renewed for season number 6. And like I said earlier, Abbott Elementary renewed for season number 3. So a lot of shows getting renewed. Final note, Samuel L. Jackson, who we love, he's married to LaTanya Richardson Jackson. They're on Broadway for the next couple of weeks for the piano lesson. And LaTanya is directing. Apparently, now y'all know Sam is probably not an easy person to live with. He doesn't want to make a lot of appearances because of the rising COVID numbers. Well, apparently they said there was an argument between the two before the event, during the event, and then afterwards when Sam just left. LaTanya said for health concerns, he doesn't want to be around a lot of people. But could you imagine either being with either him or Lawrence Fishburne? Before I sign off here, earlier today, my days have been starting off with bangs. I'd gotten this message that this famous singer had died. It wasn't true. But you investigate and you find out. And it wasn't true. A lot of people want to be first because it did make it to social media. And it wasn't true. A lot of people want to be first. You don't ever want to be first. You want to be accurate. You want to be right. Years ago, I'm just a couple of weeks away from being in this business for 41 years. One of the biggest lessons I had to learn was going out there telling a story about somebody who died and they hadn't died yet. And it was a local artist. And all their family was here and listening because they were at the hospital. I'm saying the person was dead. Boy, oh boy, my boss hammered me. I could still hear it in my head. You know better. You know better. And it was worse than any dumb stuff that I could have ever done in my personal life, like busting out somebody's car windows because they ain't want to go with me no more. It was a hard lesson, but I learned that lesson. See, I'm the type, I can get it from the first time. You ain't got to keep beating me over the head. I'll learn it. And as I told people, either take it down off their social medias, it's not true. I said, you want to be right. Not first. Especially when you're dealing with death. Because it's a serious thing. Especially when you're dealing with someone who's very famous. It's want to make sure that you're correct, and that's how my day started today. So I just had to go back to that. In life, some lessons are going to be so hard, some lessons are going to be easy. But this is the thing about these life lessons. Learn from them. Get over your feelings being hurt or they all at me. Learn a lesson. And not only learn the lesson, but pass it on when you may have to tell a person a lesson. Because life lessons are here to make you grow. And y'all know sometimes growing is not easy. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss anything. Give us a thumbs up if you liked the video. And leave a comment because Auntie loves the interaction. Some days I can't get to it, but you can best believe that a day or two afterwards, I will. So leave a comment. I love going back and forth. And you know that I saw it when I gave you a heart. It's not cute not knowing, and now you know. It's curls, it's scoops, it's laughs, it's me sometimes getting serious, and sometimes the wig will be a little crooked. Look at me, I'm a mess. I'm a mess. I've got to get this game together. I got to get this wig game together. I said I didn't know what was going on. My morning was just like so crazy. It was like, let's get it on and get to work. Have a good one. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Patty Jackson. I'm your auntie of pop culture.